Hi everyone. I'm October. I'm one of the organizers for the VSAT Fair this year as well as last year. I'm really excited for to see everyone's things for the VSAT Fair 2021. Um, First things first, I just want to say that there are two emails that this tutorial video will be talking about. One is the email that this video is in, which has all the written instructions for setting up your table, and one is one from Squarespace. That one in my inbox got filtered out of the main inbox and put into a different tab. So please check your spam. Search through your inbox for an email from Squarespace. All right, and without further ado, this is part one of the tutorial for how to set up your pages. There will be 4 parts. They're each pretty short. This one is definitely going to be the longest and probably will be the most time-consuming process for you as well. But it's also the funnest. It's the part where you get to set up your own table. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so I can show you what I'm doing. The first thing I'm going to show you is the email that I got from Squarespace. So this is the email. It's going to say contributor invitation from Jackson Stoner. That's me. That's my old name. And then there will just be the small email here saying that I'm inviting you to contribute to the VSAT for 2021 with content editor permissions. Go ahead and click the accept invitation button at the bottom. It will bring you to the Squarespace page, which either you will log in if you already have an account, or you will create an account. Creating an account is pretty easy. You just need an email and a password, and all of you have emails. That's how we communicate with you. So it shouldn't be a problem. If it is, let us know and we'll figure out a way to still have you work it to do your own page, or we'll do it for you. You'll click that. Once you've logged in or created your account, you'll be brought to a home screen like this, where it'll have like your account in the corner here, and it'll say dashboard, and then you'll have all your websites. I use Squarespace myself. That's why I have these 2 others. If you use as well, you'll see your other sites, but you will also see this one here. Everyone should see this one once you click that link. You can either click on the image, you can click on here, you can really kind of click anywhere in this. When you click on the words, it will load and it'll take you to the site for how to edit it. So this is what it looks like. When you get here, please make sure not to edit anything except for your own tables. It's really difficult for us to catch like little mistakes here and there. And it's also just exhausting for us to have to fix pages so frequently. So if you accidentally like mess with something, there are undo buttons. If you're not able to undo, please message us as soon as you can. If we catch people like editing stuff without permission that isn't their own stuff, and it gets out of hand and they're doing it on purpose, like you will be kicked out of the fair and you will not be able to table again in the future. So this is the main space here. One thing I wanted to talk about is when I scroll down, this is where people who are attending the fair will see all of your tables for the first time. So these are 6 that are left over from last year. They haven't been updated. So like mine, for example, is definitely out of date. What we sent in the email that this video is included in are instructions for how to set up your page, as well as some requests. One of those is that we need you to email us an image to be put on this page here, and a small blurb about you or your shop or whatever. That would likely be like a sentence, maybe 2, but probably just 1. Similar to like mine is a good size here. Howdy, it's June Bugs is good. Imposter Monster Zines. Student Ghost Studio is a little bit long, but it's fine. And these descriptions and images will go on this page here. When people are attending the fair, they will click on your image and be taken to your table. All right, so now on to setting up your page. On the left-hand side here, there is a menu. You're going to click on Pages at the very top, and then it'll bring you to this other menu. Everyone's tables are down in this section here. I've put an example at the top, so you'll find the name of your table, and then the word table after it. So, example table, or Howdy, it's Junebug table. Click on that. Once you click on that, it'll bring you to this new page, this empty page. And what you'll do here is you'll go ahead and above the VSAD Fair 2021, there's a thing that says edit. You'll click that. It'll widen the screen and you'll be able to start editing your site. Make sure that when you're on this, you do not click edit site header or edit site footer. These two are things that are across the whole site, and they're not for you to edit. But you can go to the add page content and click add section. The first thing, this is how I like to set it up. At this point, it is entirely customizable to however you want to do it. I'm going to be going through it just to kind of show you the different things you can do, but obviously my style is different from everyone else's. So I'm going to be doing it kind of the way I like while trying to show you the possibilities. So these are headlines. They come up with, there's like pre-made layouts and stuff, which I like, and they are editable. So you can change them. These are all stock photos or whatever that you'll be able to change. So I'm going to choose this one here. When I click on it, it does that, which is cool. And the first thing I want to do is I want to change the background image. This is not one that I'm a fan of. It's not about my shop. It's a stock photo. So I'll go ahead and in this white little rectangle here, there's a pencil. Click that. That's editing. It gives you a bunch of options. So I also don't like how big it is. So I'm going to make the section height kind of smaller there. You can also make it larger. And I'm going to go to background here. Here's the image. I'm going to click replace, upload file from my computer. And I am going to choose this one. All right. So then that loads up. Let me wait. I recommend when you're doing this, do not click video. Do not upload a video as the background. It is not accessible for blind and visually impaired folks. And in general, it can be kind of distracting and it won't load on some people's web pages. Just videos like not ideal. But here's the image. It's kind of hard to see these words simply just because there's a lot happening behind them. It's fine, but it could be better. So what I'm going to do is click edit here, and it'll open up this new thing that just has the photo. And now I get to change things about it. I can change the contrast, the saturation, et cetera, et cetera. I personally, for ease of viewing words, I like making it blurrier. So I'm going to move it here. And then I'm going to click save in this top corner. When you're done, you can also crop the image. You can add filters that Squarespace has for you. But I'm going to go ahead and click save. It'll come up with this little notification because when you change the photo through Squarespace, the changes are permanent. You can't ever revert back to the image it was when you uploaded. So if you did want to revert back, you would have to re-upload that original image, just so you know. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. It'll load. It takes a minute to do this, at least on my computer. But yeah, there's a few other options. So that makes it a little easier to see the words. There's a few other options you can do with this. You know, you can like inset it if you want. I don't personally like the way that looks for me. You can choose the overlay opacity, which is like, this is the type of background it is. And so the overlay will choose like the colors. That's none at all. And that's a little bit. The colors here are going to be kind of the theme of the section. So if I chose bright, see how the background also changes because the overlay color is different. So I'm going to choose the one that it came with, which is this. And now that I'm done with the background, I'll go ahead and change this. I'm going to call this shop Pottsfield. Whoops, that's not how you spell that, but whatever. Pottsfield Zines and Stickers. And that's the name of my fake shop. And let's say I want to add a little blurb about it. I'll say like, you know, a queer, disabled zinester and sticker artist, excuse all the typos, from California, making art around Over the Garden Wall. It's a TV show that all these images are from, just so you know, because it's not super popular. So now I've made my description. I can make that really as long as I want or as short as I want. My one last year had like a whole bio about me. Some people don't even put any. Again, everything's super customizable. And then this comes with this button. I can either, when I click on it, this little white thing comes up. I can trash the button. I can say like, oh, I don't want that. Or maybe I want it to go to my social media. Whoops, I moved it. Sorry, you can also move things around. I forgot to mention. So these little blue lines will show you how to move things around. So like if I want on top instead of on bottom, if I want it on the side. I liked it underneath, so I'm gonna keep it there. Click edit. Again, you can change the text. So I'm going to say make it say social media, and then I'm going to link it to my Instagram. You do have to put in the whole like URL, which is annoying, but you can copy paste instead of typing. And then you just click away and it's saved. You can also change the design a little bit. You can't really change the color so much, but you can change like the size and the placement. I'd recommend as you go through your page, clicking this done up in the top left corner and click save, just so you make sure you're not like losing some of your work if your computer crashes or something. Whenever you do that, it'll go back into this like split window situation. So if you want to keep editing, click edit again, it'll go back into the full screen mode, and then you'll be able to edit. So now that I'm done with my headline, I am going to add some items that I sell. So I'll say add section like I did before. It comes up with this menu again. This time I'm going to go to list, and I personally, these ones that have auto in the corner, they've made it a lot more easier than it was last year. Last year, you have to scroll all the way down to get them. It was the ones without auto, and you had to manually add like new images each time, which you can do if you want, but I prefer the auto. It just makes it easier, especially if you have a bunch of items. I like these Polaroid kind of looking ones, so I'm going to choose this one here. It'll add this section for me. And again, you can change the background, so you can upload a photo in the background. It won't change this orange piece here, but it will change the yellow. Or, you can always click this thing, and so here's the image. Or you can change the colors. Let's say I don't want it to be yellow. Let's say I want it to be, oh, that's bad. Teal. That's kind of cute. That blue is kind of nice. I don't know. There's also red. Like these ones are less malleable, I guess. Customizable. I'm gonna choose that one's bad. I don't know why I did that. But if you did want it to be like your colors for whatever reason, you can go to background, add an image, and you can just like save an image from the internet of like a color. Like let's say you want it to be pink, like you'll go to Google and Google like pink square or something. Save an image that's just a pink square and then upload that as the background. Again, that wouldn't be able to change these like Polaroid things, so you'd have to choose a different layout, but it's doable with some kind of maneuvering. And then for editing these, unlike the button above, you aren't going to click on it and something comes up. Instead, right next to the pencil where I change the background color, I'll click edit content, and this has everything. So first thing I want you to do is take away the button. That one's important because it won't go anywhere. I mean, you could have it linked to your social media again, but I just find it easier to just like remove all the buttons until the end, and that will be done in the next video. So for now, unless you want it to like link to your social media or something, take away the button. After that, you can kind of skip this, go to content. I want to edit the title because the title doesn't make it stand out. Let's say I want it to say, let's say I have like, I sell stickers and zines and jewelry, and I want that to be in different sections. Maybe this section is my sticker section. So I'll write stickers, exclamation point, because I'm excited. Click back, that's done. And now for the images, I'll click the first one. This is like their, stock photo and everything. It has their image here. I'll go ahead and click replace. It'll open the file on my computer. I don't know, let's say I want it to be this one. And then while it's uploading, you can see, oh, that was fast. So there's this image alt text here. There's two ways to do alt text, which we also described in our email. One is to put it in the alt text here when you upload your images. There's an option for it now. There wasn't last year. And Two, you could put it into your description. So when you're describing, like a zine that talks about the intersection of disability and queerness or something, you can also say like a green pocket-sized zine with handwritten title that says, yada yada. You can do the image description within your like normal description, or you can add it to alt text, or you can do both. Everyone does need to have image descriptions on their images. Again, this is like, as this should be standard everywhere, that everywhere should have image descriptions. Like, this is a sick and disabled zine and craft fair. It's all about accessibility. Please make sure that you are writing image descriptions. If you need help, we do have some guides. There are great people that we can point you to. There actually might be some in the about page on the website. I will double check that, but we do have resources to show you how to write image descriptions. So anyway, you'll write it, you'll say whatever, sticker of cartoon frog with tongue sticking out. You can just type all that in the image alt text, and then I'll go to the title. And let's say the title of this sticker is Jason Funderburker tongue sticker, whatever, that's the title. Okay, now the title has come up there, does it simultaneously, and now I'll do the description. I'll say like a 3-inch by 2.5-inch sticker that's final and waterproof. Whatever, I can do whatever description I want, and again, I can add in any image description I want. So I can add in, like image shows a cartoon frog sitting with his tongue sticking out from over the garden wall or whatever. And then when I'm done with writing the description, I'll go ahead and add the price. Price is actually something I also want to talk about here, which is also described in the email. You're welcome to do any kind of pricing method you want. So you can do sliding scale. Like, let's say the sticker is between $1 and $3. You can just do, you don't have to do sliding scale. You can say, this sticker is just $2.50, whatever you want to do. You can type in your own price. But I will say, though, that in my experience and in last year's experience, it was much, much, much easier to include shipping into the price listed than try to calculate it afterwards. It is up to you, but I just find that much easier. So I wanted to say that now. If you need help figuring out what pricing would be to ship somewhere, if you're in the US, which most of us are, and I am, you can actually go to USPS.com if you use USPS, and go to quick tools up in this corner. It's like the highlighted one. Go to calculate a price, click on that, and then you'll be able to calculate probably how much it'll cost to do shipping. Because again, people will be paying you, it won't be calculated through our website. You will have to manually calculate it. So we highly, highly, highly recommend you include them in your pricing originally. And this is how you can figure out how much it approximately would cost. Okay, back to this. So after you're done with all of this, you can click back. It will edit this now. You can edit the next two. Let's say you have more than 3 items. You'll go ahead and click add at the bottom here, and it'll add a completely blank one for you. You'll do the same thing, do the title, add the image, add the description, the alt text, the price, all of that. You're also welcome to change the design. I would say that, like, for this and for most of the others, like in the list section, choosing simple list is best. The banner, slideshow, and the carousel are just not going to really work as well. But you could change it, like these are all aligned one way. You can change it to be centered or the other way. It's up to you. You can switch it so that it's like images and then words, or the other way around. You can make 4 next to each other instead of 3. Like, this is all pretty customizable. If you have any questions about that, you can always email us or message us on Instagram or anything. But that is that. Let's say I want to do another section because I have, more than stickers. I have zines. I will add a section, be in list again. Let's say I want it to look different. maybe I want it to be like this. So now I've got a new section. I don't really like the yellow next to the blue like that. So I'm gonna change the colors. I like this one. And again, so this one has these buttons down here. When you edit content, I highly recommend taking off the button on the title, which is already off for this. And also for this one, the button in the items, because it just won't go anywhere. All right, and that is how you upload any of your products or anything. If you need any help, any questions, you can always message us. You can rearrange things how you like them. You can just mess around with Squarespace. It's up to you. You can check out, if you wanted to check out example pages. Here, I'll actually show them now. So click save on this. It's done. And then I will scroll down to my page from last year. So this is my page from last year. You can see, so I had like, you know, a photo in the background that I inset. I wrote like my title small and then kind of like the description larger. I have social media. The order form is at the bottom of the page. That's what I'm going to be going over in the next video. So you'll see that next. That has to do with all the buttons and stuff that I was talking about too. And then I have like a little bio about me. Like I said, it's a little bit long, whatever. There's a photo. This all needs to be updated. And then again, like I said, I like sectioning stuff. So I have zines in this area. And then I put like, I have so many. So I had see more and that goes to my website. So you can do that. I got stickers. There's some jewelry. And then here's the order form that again, I'll be going over next time. So that's everything. Feel free to reach out to us if you have any like issues, if you need help figuring out what you want to do on your website, anything like that. Just reach out to us. Our email is sadzcfair@gmail.com. It's the one that we've been emailing you from. And you can also reach out on Instagram at sadzcf. All right, that is the end of the tutorial part 1 of how to set up your page. The longest one, the most time consuming for you, but also what I would consider to be the funnest. And the next video will go over how to set up that form at the bottom of the page that I briefly showed you, and why the buttons are best to be removed. And then we'll go on to payment page and how to collect payments. All right, see you all soon. I'm excited to see all the tables made up.